Nothing stays the same. Everything is in a constant state of flux. Some changes are easier to see than others because they happen quickly. We can see the melting of icicles in the spring as they are touched by the sun. It's easy to see the leaves spiral in the air as they are picked up by the wind. The eddies of a strong river current are immediate evidence of motion. Some changes are more difficult to recognize. The same river can cut a gigantic gorge out of solid rock, but day to day, week to week, year to year, the rock will not appear to change. It's only after decades and centuries that the changes are recognizable. You and I will be long gone before changes to the Grand Canyon will be obvious. There are other important changes that happen faster than the erosion of the Grand Canyon, but are still almost imperceptible due to their slow rate. Look at oil and what it's done to our economy. We've only been using oil since about the turn of the last century, a little over 100 years ago. In that time, the automobile has been introduced, giving people unsurpassed mobility and freedom. We're even using this fuel to fly through the air to get from place to place. The internal combustion engine gives a farmer amazing productivity, as if he had thousands of cheap farmhands helping out. We're making things out of cheap and lightweight plastics, which in turn have been made out of oil. And it's absolutely amazing what oil has done for us. Yet it's only been used heavily for 100 years. Nobody alive today who is listening to this video has ever experienced life without it. Without the cars, without the airplanes, the machinery, or the materials that it has brought into our lives. Yet the stars blink, and it will all be gone, just as quickly as it has arrived. We live in a universe of slow change, yet we live in a culture that demands immediacy. Have you ever gotten frustrated because you were a week into a diet and didn't notice any change? Did you ever get angry at all of the traffic lights that seemed to be conspiring against you during your morning commute to work? Are you annoyed because you've been buying silver for 2 years now and aren't rich yet? Well, don't feel bad. Most people are wired for instant gratification. It's important, though, to be aware of this desire for instant gratification, because there are whole industries that benefit more from their clients' impatience than from their clients' success. For example, there are people who have whole libraries of diet books, so complete that they could probably be given their own little Dewey Decimal System. Of course, the books aren't all bought at once. They came in waves. First, it was all about eating no fat. Then there were plans around eating no carbs. Then there were plans for eating the diets of Mediterranean countries. There were plans that promoted rapid weight loss by eating nothing but fruit. Each had the promise of offering instant change. The plans were accompanied by powders, drugs, bars, weight loss belts equipped with electrodes to shock your stomach into six-pack shape. And oh, the exercise equipment was of wondrous variety, not to mention expense. Countless people have spent fortunes on these books, these drugs, the food, and the equipment in the hopes of immediate and permanent weight loss. The result? Disappointment on average. How do we know for sure? The fact that every few years a new fad comes along. If the old fads worked, then everyone would be fit, and the new fads would hold no allure. No industry is going to make money by advising people to simply slow down, eat real, whole, nutritious food, not too much, find an active hobby that not only burns calories, but is also fun. And how about that hectic morning commute? Well, there are stores there to help you with your frantic life by opening up drive-through windows so that you can buy breakfast sandwiches, coffee, donuts, to save you a few minutes each morning. Not only do you not have to cook, but you can also enjoy your food as you sit in your car cursing the guy who denied you the opportunity to turn left on the yellow light by speeding through the intersection. The asset that you bought that hasn't made you rich yet? Well, don't feel badly about that either. Most people don't grow suddenly rich simply by owning the right asset, whether it's stocks, bonds, real estate, or, gasp, even gold and silver. The process of building wealth simply does not work that way. If it was easy to identify the right things to buy and grow rich simply by holding those things, then everyone would be rich. Is everyone rich? No. But just like the diet industry makes their money by selling dreams of instant weight loss, the financial industry makes its money by selling dreams of instant riches. The precious metals community is no exception, even though most of the promoters will make it seem like they are different by pointing out how evil the mainstream financial industry is. Most of them seem very sincere, too, and they have to seem that way because their livelihood depends on it. There's lots of money to be made from those who are skeptical about the mainstream financial world. Have you ever noticed how many leaders in the precious metals community sell subscription services or sell their own versions of rounds? Many even make quite a bit of money by selling products from the major mints. This is not to say that they're bad people. They simply have a conflict of interest, one that you are best served to recognize and be aware of. Will owning a small amount of gold and silver today make you rich a week, month, or a year from now? It's possible, but I doubt it. Will owning the right form of gold or silver make you effortlessly rich? Again, it's possible, but my level of doubt is even higher. It's certainly fun to imagine it, and those who are selling the subscription services certainly are not going to talk you out of that dream. Just understand that that's not how precious metals work. It's not how they have ever worked. For centuries, precious metals have been money, and it has never been the holders of money who have woken up one day to find out that their wealth was multiples of what it was the day before. No, it was always the person who worked hard, consumed less than what was produced, and accumulated coin after coin over decades that became wealthy. Weight loss, wealth building, and many other things are much more like the formation of the Grand Canyon than the melting of icicles or the blowing of leaves. Lose half a pound a week, and you won't even notice it on a scale or in the mirror day to day. In fact, check the scale every day, and you're bound to be frustrated on half of those days. I guarantee it, because day to day the changes will be random. A person who only sees you once in a year will be amazed at the 26-pound weight loss that they will see. Buy a quarter-ounce gold coin once per month, and the same thing will happen. Day by day, you will watch changes in the gold price, and on half of those days you will be frustrated. In fact, you may even decide to give up, especially if your goal is to get rich quickly. But if you simply buy a quarter of an ounce of gold once per month, then after 35 years, you will count your inventory and find that you have accumulated more than 100 ounces of gold. When close friends or family members learn of your success and tell you that they simply don't have the resources to do what you have done, you can simply sit back and smile, knowing that you can tell them how to do it, but it will be a message that they won't want to hear or be ready to hear. Over long periods of time, amazing changes can take place. Over long periods of time, amazing feats can be accomplished. But to be the change that you want to see in your life, you have to act like the Colorado River, relentlessly applying a small amount of force, regardless of the apparent lack of progress. The progress will come. That's a promise I won't hesitate to make you. There is only one quality that you will need to exercise, which tends to be difficult for most. Do you have it?